Hi, Denise.
Hi.
Hi.
Denise.
Hi.
Denise.
You got your New York hat on. I love it.
Yeah, you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
More gray.
More gray.
Yeah, it means the Dodgers won.
Okay, let's not go
Was
there.
it that time of year? I don't keep track of that because I watch football.
I don't have any
Like
idea.
my new
I have no
accessory.
clue what's going on.
Look at my new accessory.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. What happened? Did you
Nothing.
finally punch him?
Well, you got it. My hand has really been bothering me, especially my thumb with shooting pains and stuff. And I went for my annual and doctor said, well, it looks like it could be tendonitis. So this isn't a cast. It's one of those things that keeps your arm straight. What's that called?
Keep it, yeah.
A splint. And yeah, I have to go now twice a week for 6 weeks to try and get this bait. It's been overworked and the tendons are all inflamed and angry. So I get to wear this.
Aw.
And wouldn't you know it, but you know, they tell you the color. It looks blue on there, but it's really purple. And because you get your choice of color, they didn't have yellow or orange, my two favorite colors. So I had to, what was left, out of the colors I had left, I said purple. And then of course the tape is black. So I go, oh, unfortunately it's purple and black now, which is Jaguars, which is Steelers' only undefeated team left. Woo-hoo! Nemesis.
Well, I hope you get better quick there, Nancy.
I will. As
Yeah.
you can see, I'm still up and going.
Well, I think we're going to get started. We might have a couple stragglers, but I know Les told me, he texted me, said he can't make it. And I think Abby should be here soon though. But let's just get started. Let's talk a little bit. I'll buy them a minute or two just by talking about tonight's theme. And then what we're, kind of giving an outline of what we're doing. So we're going to do a couple of new warm-ups. We're going to do an old warm-up too. And then we're going to get to freeze and switch story, which that's our game of the night. That's our big show game that we're going to work on. It's a 3-part scene, has a beginning, middle, and end. And so because of that, we're also going to do warm-ups related to storytelling, at least one. That's our 7-sentence story structure. So we're going to focus on that. But before we do, we're going to bounce around a little bit. Here is Barbara Hagan joining us. Excellent. All right. There she is. Awesome. And she has the worlds behind her. Galaxy Quest. It's Galaxy Quest, Barbara.
Yes.
And there's Abby coming in. Perfect timing.
Yeah, you told me not to use those sceneries though, because it kind of cuts off if you use your arms or anything.
Sometimes you can pull it off if you got the right scenery and it works. So
Okay.
it also depends on the clothes you're wearing. It depends on the clothes you're wearing too, the colors, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the less clothes you wear, the less obnoxious it is.
Oh, then take off some clothes.
Yeah, don't wear.
No, Bill. No.
If you use a background, try not to wear green or blue. Those are the common green screen colors, and the computer will pull those out, and your shirt will disappear. It'll be a floating head. Okay.
All right, you come here. What you doing?
All right, so here we go. Tonight, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about, we're still working on character development. Remember in CROW, character, relationship, objective, and where. If you're taking notes, write down CROW, C-R-O-W. And we've been focused on character for a while. We're going to stay on it for a while because it's really great. And there's a lot we can do with character. The first C in the 4 letters. So, and here's Paul jumping on too. All right, so what I also want us to do today is I want us to think about there's a card I have here, a little reminders called How to Avoid Boring Scenes. And I actually read this to you guys a long time ago, but there's some good points on it. And I think what we're gonna focus on one is be altered by what is said to you. Pardon me. What that means is if you're really present in a scene with your scene partner, if you're really present and you're listening and you're agreeing, if you actually hear what they say, you will be altered by it. In other words, something about the scene will be altered because of what they said. Something about your response. Your character will react to it or respond to it. In other words, you will be altered by it. And the reason why this is a great tip is because what often happens is we are not altered by what the person says. We actually often ignore what they said because we already have the idea of what we're going to say next in our mind before they talk. And we're waiting our turn just to say what we had already predetermined to say. And that's not good practice for improv. What's good practice is to actually be altered by what is said to you. And that's hard to do because it requires more active listening. So just some thoughts. And I'd like for you to think about that tonight as we go. So that was your lesson of the night. All right, let's move on. All right, so let's do our warm-ups. And tonight we're going to do some cool warm-ups in the breakout rooms, and we'll do one in front of the class, and then we'll dive into breakout room. So we're going to start with let's see, categories. Okay, and then we're going to do categories in the breakout rooms. Will be fun and even more fast-paced. So there's a lot of versions of this. A simple version we're gonna play is that we're going to go around the room really quick, and we're gonna have a category. We're gonna do a really simple version of categories, which is I'm gonna come up with a category, and then we're gonna go around the room, and you're gonna say a word. You're gonna come up with something that fits that category. For example, if I say ice cream flavors and it gets to you, you might say chocolate, and Denise might say vanilla, and Barbara might say strawberry, right? And we're going to go until everybody has a turn, then I'll give a new category. That's the easy version. We'll do that first. And I'll type in, I'm going to put in the chat in order, but it's Raymond. And then I'll start, and then it'll be Raymond and Bill. And then we'll go Ari, and then we'll go Victoria, and then we'll go Denise, and then we'll go Nancy, and then we'll go Barbara. I'm going to call you Barb. Berg, you're Barb. And then we're going to call Barbara second. Then we'll get both Barbs out of the way. How about that? And then we'll get Paul, and then we'll finish up with Abby. So I put it in the chat also. If you want to click on it, you could see that order. So let's practice this. So this is the easy version of categories, super easy, which is ice cream flavors. Okay. So you're up first, Raymond.
Vanilla.
Chocolate.
Banana.
Anchovy.
Courage.
Nancy.
Oh, it's me, pistachio.
Ah, for heaven's sakes, I was going to say that. Mocha.
Barbara, you're muted, so we got to unmute you. Still muted.
Still muted.
You're
Sorry.
there you go.
Coconut cream.
All right. All you're up.
Oh, rum raisin.
Great. I love that one. Abby, can you
Rocky
hear?
Road.
Thank you. And then Blue, you're up. Ice cream flavor, Blue. Ice cream flavor.
Ew, chocolate chip.
Good. We just did it. Now that game was us making sure that we're all unmute and we're all dialed in. So that was perfect. We tested our sound. Okay. So now we're going to do it different. Okay. We're going to do a version where now Raymond, I'm going to switch with Raymond and no. I'm skipping ahead a step. I'm going to go this time. And this time I want you to come up with two of the thing instead of just one of the thing. I want you to come up two of the thing. So it's animals, and Raymond, you're up.
Cat and dog.
Quokka elephant.
Mouse and rat.
A chimpanzee and a duck.
Monkey and penguin.
Koala and hedgehog.
Lizard and turtle.
Duck and a peacock.
Rats and mice.
Donkey and platypus.
And now Blue, you're at
Giraffe and aardvark.
Good. Okay. So that wasn't hard. That was pretty easy, right? We get our brains going. I don't think we repeated any. And if we did, it was maybe once, but I don't even think we repeated. So, bless you.
Bless
All
you.
right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the breakout room, and it's going to get a lot more interesting. You're going to have a partner or two. And this time one of you gets to call out the category, and then you're going to go back and forth naming things. So for example, if it's Raymond and I, and we do ice cream flavors, then Raymond would say,
Vanilla.
and I'd go chocolate, and then back to Raymond.
Pistachio.
Strawberry.
Grape.
And then let's say one of us stops, then all you got to do is start a new category. Types of cars.
Cadillac.
Honda.
Ford.
Okay, so we would just keep doing that, and we want to go as quick as we can. And if you hesitate or if you get stopped, you don't need to panic. You just come up with a new category and start over. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes. You're going to fire through these as quick as you can with your partner. Any questions about that? Good. It's a fun warm up. Enjoy it. There's going to be two. If you have a 3-person team, it's the same thing. You just alternate between all 3 of you. Okay. So here's your breakout rooms. Barb and Paul and Victoria are going to be the team of 3. And there's the rooms. Go ahead and join them. You got 2 minutes to play the game. Okay. So how did that go?
Yeah, a little
It
stumbly.
It went. Thankfully, it went.
It went. Was it tough? Was it easy?
It's
Easy.
hard and it's
Pretty
it
easy.
sounds like it should be so easy, but it's not.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, the first couple might be off the top of your head, and then once you get off the strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla, you have to think.
You do. You got to think. That's good. It's a good warm up. Get the brain going, right? Good
Yeah.
brain exercise. All right. So now we're going to do a 7-sentence story structure as our next warm up, and also a good drill to do. And I want to review this for you. If you're taking notes, you can write this down till you memorize it. But it's once upon a time, and every day, until one day. Okay, who knows what's next?
Because of this.
Because of this.
Because of this, and then
And
because
because of this.
Because of this. And then
Finally,
and there's one last one, which is
everyday sense.
and ever since that day. So that's 7.
Oh, ever since.
Once upon a
that day.
time, and every day, until one day, because of this, and finally, and ever since that day. And if you think about it, it makes total sense. It's a story arc, right? It goes up and it goes down. It has the climax in it and everything. The beginning is the setup of the story. If you want to talk about it as something else, use different words. The once upon a time and every day is the opening scene or the opening image in the first thing you see in a movie, for example. And every day is the beginning of the setup. Okay. So once upon a time and every day, that's all the setup in the beginning. All right. And as we travel up on the story arc, the next thing is there's something called a catalyst in every story. And that's what jumps it into action, what puts the hero into, a challenging situation where they have to make a decision. That's the catalyst. Well, in our story, it's until one day, right? That's where things change. That's where the stasis has to change. You can't, it's otherwise it'd be boring. There would be no story. So once upon a time and every day until one day, and that's when the thing happens that launches us into the action, right? And so that's the beginning. Those 3 are really the beginning chunk. You get right into the action on that third one. Okay. And now because of this and because of this are just like traveling through the story, and we're building action and tension. Right. And then the finally is the climax of the story. Finally. And then we drop right down to resolution or denouement or whatever version of story structure you're talking about. And you're saying ever since that day. That's kind of like, and they live happily ever after. That'd be the most simplest ever since that day, phrase you could say.
That's only 6 though.
What, did I skip one?
No, she forgot 2 because of this. She didn't realize.
Yeah. There's 2 because of this is.
Oh, okay.
Because of this is repeated. That's the building of the arc, basically.
Why is that repeated?
I don't know. I didn't invent it.
Oh.
I don't know.
Makes the story go
Well,
longer.
my theory is that it makes sense. If you're trying to build a story, that's because things happen, right? if only one thing happened, that'd be a much shorter story and it wouldn't build as much tension. Right? So you're building to the climax. And if you get there like in 2 seconds, well, that was quick. Right? So
Reminds me of a guy I used to date.
Ah, shush, Blue.
we'll be here all evening, ladies and gentlemen. Right. So the idea is that we don't want to just say this and then come up with dumb little stories that don't make any sense to us, that we have no emotion behind. And then we're like, yeah, that's an exercise, whatever. It has nothing to do with when I'm in a scene. Our goal is to take with this 7-sentence story structure, which some of us have been doing for years. And here it is over here at A, and over B, like where the finishing point is, this is where we want to get to. Like, this is where we want to be, where we're in a scene actually building stories that are interesting for the audience, right? Like, we want to have a scene that's really captivating and cool and has a beginning, middle, and end. So this is where we are now. This is where we want to go. So you have to think that into existence. You have to go, oh, I'm actually going to memorize this and start using it so much that it becomes automatic. And then pretty soon when I'm on stage doing scenes, it just happens without me thinking about it. That's the only way it's going to work. So that's the power of this one, is you could be like, it's nothing, it's a stupid game. Or you could think, wow, this could be the way I create scenes for the here until, eternity.
But
So,
they need to make sense, because a lot of ours just become nonsense. And
exactly.
yeah.
Good point. I concur.
Good point.
I hate when that happens.
So
All the time.
we're gonna do one as a group, just because it's kind of fun, or one or two, so we get around everybody, and then I'll put you in a breakout room again on this one, so you get extra practice with a partner, and it's even faster. Okay, so the same order which I have in the chat, which is Raymond, Bill, Ari, Victoria, Denise, Nancy, Barb, Barbara, Paul, Abby, and Blue. Okay, that's a lot of folks. I'm so glad you're all here. All right, so let's do that. Let's start with Raymond. Or actually, I'll start and then Raymond will go. So once upon a time, there was a friendly giant.
And every day, the giant would go into town to try to meet new people.
Until one day,
I guess we're not
he
in the chat.
stomped on so many new people just because he couldn't see them. He was so big that he had no one to see in town.
And because of this, he left.
Wait, hold on. I think we have Ari is next, right after
Oh,
Bill.
sorry.
So Ari, you're on mute. You got to unmute yourself. There you go.
Because of this, the people were all just teeny tiny little people.
And now, Victoria, you have the second because of this.
And because of this, they had to get their ladders out and yell at him to get him to hear them.
Finally, he heard them and he bent down and picked them up and talked to them.
Until one day.
And ever since that day.
Oh, I'm sorry. And ever since that day, they have been yelling back and forth at each other, now using megaphones.
Good. You guys did it. And good job trying to listen to each other. That was a tricky one. Anything that's a fantasy story can be kind of goofy.
Well,
But-
didn't
but-
we only have 6 of us though? 1, 2, 3.
No,
4.
Jesse was 7.
Remember, Jesse was
Oh,
a
Jesse, you started it. That's why
Okay.
I got Samuel, yeah.
So now we're going to carry off. You were going to continue right where we left off in the order. So now Barb will be Once Upon a Time. Barbara will be an Every Day. Paul will be Because of This, or Until One Day. Abby will be Because of This, right? It will continue. And then when it gets to Blue, who's after Abby, then it'll start over with me. Okay?
Okay.
Let's try it.
All right. Once upon a time, there was this huge tree, and the wind was blowing, and one of its branches broke off down below in the swamp.
And every day, the local tree master came to see if he could help the tree recover from the injury.
Until one day, he decided to graft that broken branch onto a new tree, an avocado tree.
Because of this, the tree master created a weird avocado oak hybrid.
And because of this, that avocado was the cat's meow in the village.
And finally, all the cats came to eat on the avocado.
And ever since that day, avocado has become the new important nutrient for a cat diet.
Yay, we did it. Okay, so what we're and you know what I love about the game is you just build on what the person said right before you. Just keep it really simple and try to remember what the people said in the beginning so that you know what your story's about. One thing I will say is simplify it even further. Like some of us will say things like, I'm gonna make up a once upon a time, there was a dragon who on every Thursday, laid an egg and then flew around and on and on and on. I'm like, dude, you're just on once upon a time, right? All I need to do is say once upon a time there was a dragon or an angry dragon or a happy dragon or a red dragon. I'm done, right?
Yeah.
Because the person who has every day gets to say what they did every day, right? And if that person on every day said, and every day, they jumped up and down and laid an egg, and then but also on a Wednesday they decided not to. It's like, wait a minute, the person who comes next is going to say until one day. So if you create this big, long, complicated thing, you kind of make it really difficult for the next person to tell that part of the story, right? Okay, and that's just for this game, right? That's for for the when you're in a scene. Sometimes these sections actually take a long time, and there's a little sub scene within them, right? So once upon a time, there's a dragon, and then we tell a whole story about that, a whole scene about the dragon. And then in every day, we talk about what he does every day or she does every day, right? So I'm not talking about those uses of this principle. I'm talking about just this game. Keep it simple, and it'll go faster, and it'll be easier to do, okay? Our goal is to get more repetitions in. Okay, so now I'm going to divide you into the breakout rooms, and we're going to have, I think, just 2 rooms for this one. So we're going to recreate the rooms here. Let's see, what do we got here? I think we should have 5 or 6 in a room. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in another room. So this is going to be great because you're going to have to go all the way through your order and then come back out the other side. If you want to, let's say I'm going to have, hey, Abby, in your group, can you help determine the order?
Yeah.
Once you join it, and then I'm going to have Raymond, if you could help determine the order in your group. And that way, just so you guys can determine what the order is really fast. Okay, so here's the rooms. Go ahead and join them and then jump in and give it a try.
You didn't give it enough time.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Was anybody able to get through a full story?
We got through a bird
We got
story.
through
It was
one.
fabulous, and it had a happy ending.
Wonderful. And wait, did some of you get through 2 stories? One of you?
Yeah, we got to 2 and we started a 3rd, and then we ended.
That's what we want. That's what we want. That's okay. All right, so keep that in mind. Remember, keep that in mind as we go through improv. The story structure is just a little reminder that good scenes have stories, okay? So now we're going to move on to character development, all right? Now, this one, remember over the last few weeks, we did a couple different games for this. Remember, we did Frozen Faces. You guys remember that game? That's where you have the expression. We did Animal Attributes. That was kind of interesting. We spent a little bit of time on status, actually a couple different games we did on status where you have a different high or low status or you get a number, remember those? And then one we did really quickly was called tone of voice. So we did 4 main things to try to help you with tools to develop characters, okay? Now today, we're gonna do a zany exercise called ding character. And ding means, I'm going to ding my bell. Did you all hear that? That's pretty loud.
Heard it.
So what I'm going to do on this one, this is, I'm only going to have 1 or 2 of you do it in front of the class, but then I'm going to let you do some of it in breakout room also until you get more comfortable with it. This is a fun little game where you can use anything you want to develop characters. You can use all of the tools that you already have that that I've taught you, but you could also just come up with things out of thin air. Or you could even do bad impersonations, or you do whatever you want in order to come up with some kind of a character. And you're going to do a character until I ding the bell. And then you switch to a new character. The audience is going to give you a suggestion of what to talk about. And you're just going to start talking like a monologue. So a monologue, or you can be pretending you're in a dialogue with somebody, but it's essentially a monologue either way, right? And every time I ding the bell, you have to change characters. I'm just going to do it. Maybe see if you can do 4 or 5. Let's see how many characters you come up with. I might do more. And you have to just come up with brand new characters. So it's very, very repetition based. Okay. Do I have a brave volunteer that wants to try this first? Nancy, you were the first hand that went up, and then Blue. So Nancy, you're first. I love it. And Blue, you'll be second. Okay.
It's probably going to be one hot mess.
That's okay. I like that. All right. So, audience, I need a suggestion from you guys. You can type it in the chat. I always like those. Give me a word. Give me a noun. You know, person, place, or thing. Football. Toes. Ooh. Nancy, which one do you want? Toes or football?
Definitely
and fish
not
bait.
bowling. Let's go with toes.
Okay. So toes is your suggestion. And you have to come up with a new character every time I ding the bell. And hopefully it's loud enough and you can hear it fine. And go for it. You're going to do a monologue. Start talking to us about toes.
Toes, they're so important. I mean, I walk around, sometimes when I see these really gnarly toes, and it's like, oh, please get out of here. And some people don't even cut their toenails. How the hell do you get a shoe on with your toenails that long? Oh, no. You need to keep them trimmed properly and colored those toes, I tell you, a pain in the butt there. I just let my things just do their thing. Hopefully when they get long enough, they'll just break off on their own and not worry about anything one way or another. They can just do what they damn well please. Oh, there goes another one. Just popped off. Oh, good. Clipped yourself. They're just such a bother. And, sometimes they get so dang thick that you have to, oh, really? What a bother. I'll tell you, call me an Okie or whatever you want to, but I ain't diddling with toes.
Hey, Nancy, did you hear the bell?
I didn't either.
I only heard it once, Jesse.
I only heard it once.
I thought this one was going pretty long. I heard the one bell.
Maybe the computer somehow decided that sound was not going to go through.
Oh, good. I'm so glad it wasn't me.
No.
Clap your hands, Jesse.
Yeah. Oh, here's what Nancy. Nancy, those were good. I like they were subtly different characters of it. The difference was the attitude. I want you to keep going, but I want you to give me more. I want you to, it's okay to be, go to crazy town on this. It's okay to be off the wall, make a fool out of yourself, try different voices, try different facial expressions, try very, very, like be Frankenstein in one and be a kitty cat in the next. Like, I really want to see more range. Rather than, I know we like to play realistic a lot, and we like to play pedestrian and just being normal. This is where you can throw all out the window. Like
it doesn't have to make any sense at all.
No, be an alien in one and then be a cloud in the next one. Like whatever, or be you can be James Bond in one, you could be like
James Bond and toes. Do those go together?
I don't know, but you're just different characters. You want to be a different, very, very different characters. Okay.
So it doesn't have to pertain specifically to toes.
No, you don't even need the suggestion. The suggestion is because we always take an audience suggestion just to give you an inspiration for maybe what you're talking about, or maybe something that happens in the scene that is related. I don't care. Actually, you could just somehow, like at the end of your scene, go, "Oh, my toe hurts." I don't care. It's a suggestion. Well, you know how it is. It's like we do for all of our shows. When we get a suggestion, it's a suggestion. So, but you're still focused on character switching.
Okay.
So try a couple more.
Without a suggestion.
No, you're still on toes. You're on your third character. Switch to third character.
Okay. Tell you what, I am going to tippy here like a mouse. No one's going to hear a word I say. Just, I'm tippy-toeing around, and no one's going to know I'm even here.
Okay, switch again. Switch.
Oh, look at that. My star mate. Hello there. Oh, you are shining bright as can be. You look fabulous. What you been doing? Shining and shimmering that stuff, huh? You look glamorous. I tell you, yeah, let's.
Switch. Switch again.
Oh, okay. 52, 53, 43. Hike that ball. Okay, I got it. I'm running. Touchdown. I got it. Okay, hike that ball again. Hike, grab my own hike.
And scene.
No,
My favorite Nancy was the football player. Thank you. That was good. Good job. Give her a round of applause, everybody. She was brave and she was first.
gosh,
Got-
changing characters that quickly is not easy.
Yeah. Okay, so Blue, you're up next. Okay. All right. You ready to go? And we're gonna take paperclip for you. You got paperclip if you want a suggestion. And I won't use a bell, or maybe I'll use a bell and my voice. So go ahead and get
Okay, great. Hi there, I'm Debbie Dale. I'm from Dale. I'm the Dallas Cheerleaders. I've been with the Dallas Cheerleaders now for, oh my goodness, over a decade. And I tell you, and I just want y'all to know that it's going to get tough now. There's going to be some tears. There's going to be some cheers, but we just got to push on through. I hope y'all hear me now, don't you? Just push on. You're the guys that hit my brother, and I'm going to hit you back. Yeah, you think it's funny, do you? See them glasses you got? How'd you like to be wearing them inside your eyeballs?
And switch.
Oh, please, sir. Please, sir, might I have just a little bit of bread? Just a bit, for me and the wee mouse in the corner? Oh, so good of you. So very good of you.
Switch. And switch.
Yeah, I say, I've seemed to find myself in the woods, and I'm not really quite prepared. I do have a flashlight, and I've got this wonderful key-bar knife, and well, I suppose we could have a jolly good time at a fireplace or something.
And scene. Good job, Blue. Give her a round of applause. You're very good at a multiple personality disorder and schizophrenia. I love it. You are
Nerve-wracking.
very, very good at that game, Blue. You do an exceptional job. So, great job. And I would also say, Blue, what your strengths are, you're really good at characters in general, but you have a lot of accents, which is really cool. And so I want you to think about that. And I'm not going to tell you what to do here. I'm not going to say don't do them and try something else.
Right.
But you have an option. Maybe go even more into accents where you try some more extreme ones, because you tend to have a Southern and an English accent really well.
Right. Yeah.
Try one that you're not as comfortable with. Test it out.
Okay.
Like an accent that you like. I don't know how often you do. Like I know Raymond,
the German and the Irish, and
try the Irish, a little of the old Irish, or a German, or it's just something very different. And go all in with that, or try some other characters that have less to do with accents and with
like a kid, an old person,
or maybe more facial expression and body posture ones. You do those sometimes. Try that. But you're so good at it. I'm just giving you ideas to maybe.
Yeah, no, I need them. Thanks, because I do fall back on the
Yeah. What you don't want is 3 characters with a similar accent. Right. So you do one and then switch to a totally different. It's tough, but it's good for you. It's very good for you as a challenge. Okay, we're going to do the breakout room version, so you don't have to be quite on the spot. You'll be on the spot with one person, and you're gonna take turns with your partner, and you're gonna do 5 or 6 characters, and then switch, and your partner will do it, and your partner will tell you when to switch. And partners, don't make them go too long, right? Give them long enough to establish the character. Give them. If they're really on a roll, maybe let them go for a few seconds, but this is not like a whole minute on a character. Okay. So make sure you tell them when to switch, give them 5 or 10 seconds, 15 tops, because you really want to roll through characters quickly. right? So 5 seconds is good enough. Do a character for 5 seconds, switch to a new one, maybe 10, right? Give that a shot. So any questions before we jump to that?
3 or 4, 5 characters?
5, yeah, let's try to do at least 5. 5 would
Okay.
be 5 would be just perfect. Okay, we're gonna do 5 rooms with 2 to 3 people each. I just recreated them. Barbara, Bill, and Victoria, you guys are in the 3-person room. You'll just have to alternate. Here they are. Jump on in, have fun. Got about 2 minutes, a little over that.
Hey.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Oh,
Hey,
Jesse,
guys.
Jesse, you too.
yeah. So,
Too,
so
Jeff.
I like.
Oh,
I,
Power.
You guys lose power?
You
Yeah.
Bill, huh?
looks like Barb did.
Yeah.
So it actually it kicked me out of the Zoom meeting. But what was
Wow.
really cool is that
Wow.
I have my battery on I'm on my laptop, so it's battery, and then I'm connecting through the internet through my cell phone right now on battery. So that's the reason why I was able to get back to it. So,
I thought you were
Sorry
trying to be
about that.
scary, Jesse, by turning the lights off and having this light shining on you.
it's my Halloween.
Your Halloween.
Did you guys get a chance to even do that for a minute? Did it work?
We each went through 5,
I
yeah.
only did it on me, and Ari never got
I
a
did it
chance.
on Denise, and then we kind of, yeah, and then all of a sudden, boom, it was knocking us out.
Okay. All right. Sorry. So we're back. Let's just continue. You guys can hear me fine, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna. that was an adventure. So let's move on to our next game. All right.
Yes.
I want us to have time to do freeze and switch story. And so with freeze and switch story, there is kind of a way to go about it that makes it a little easier. All right. So you have 3 groups of 2, a total of 6 people. Who remembers this? I know Bill got to remember it, and Nancy, and some of you guys, Paul, Raymond. Okay. Denise, do you remember this one?
I do,
Blue,
but
do
on
you
Zoom
remember?
it seems a little different. I need a reminder.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. So the way this works is that there's in the scene, there's actually only 2 characters. Okay, there's 6 people playing like as an ensemble, but they're only playing 2 characters. So you're taking turns playing a character, right? And the 2 characters are going to stay constant, and the location stays constant, and the time stays constant. So it's essentially one scene. But what we're doing, it's like tag teaming. Like you tag somebody in, like freeze tag, you go in and you get to continue the scene as that character. So the only variable here that changes is the actors. The improvisers change, the rest of it doesn't change. Okay, that's the first thing to know. The second thing to know is that you have a role. Each pair of people has a role to play to help develop the scene. So the first 2 that go, if you're up first, you go and you explore the space. Okay, now on Zoom it's a little tricky. Oh, we got a dog. On Zoom it's a little tricky because it's a little bit more difficult to do physicality. But if you step away from your camera, you can. Even with me with my flashlight, I could try to show you that I'm working on something, right? So if you're in the first group, try to step away from your camera for a minute and see if there's a way that you can actually show us the space around you a little bit. So don't have your face like this, because otherwise we won't know what's going on, back. The other thing that you're doing when you're establishing it is you're just establishing the character very simply. So you're kind of establishing where you are, who you are, where you are, and what are you doing. Okay. And mostly you're responsible. On stage, we have you explore 3 objects as the way we get you to do that. You could try that here on Zoom if you want, but you don't have to. I'm going to be a little looser with it here for tonight. But the idea is that you're like, oh, here's where the doorknob is, right? And you could try that in here. If you want to try it, that'd be great. But you're establishing who, what, where, who you are, what are you doing, where are you? And you're also establishing the space. What kind of location are we in, right? And then the second group who tags them and comes in, Those two are going to raise the stakes of the scene. They're going to accentuate the challenges and problems of the scene. So they're going to make it, they're going to create problems and raise the stakes and increase the tension in the scene until it's at like a fever pitch, like it's kind of insane. Now, I shouldn't say that, because usually what that means is it turns into a yelling match. I don't necessarily mean that. I just mean raise the stakes, right? You can do that in a whisper. Doesn't need to be yelling, but usually we do, for fun, we have somebody's leg get sawn off or whatever. It usually gets a little crazy. That's okay. Just doesn't have to get crazy. All right. And then the third group is going to come in and they're going to resolve all the conflicts, solve all the problems, and find a resolution to the scene. Now, think about how this relates, though, to what we did earlier with 7-sentence story structure. We never really talked about this, but it totally fits. The first group is once upon a time and every day. And maybe until one day, but the second group is definitely until one day. And because of this like massive growth of issues and problems, and maybe it's the finally, but pretty much the last group is finally and ever since that day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're telling a story. Okay, we're doing the basic story structure, but now here's the good news. You don't have to remember all that in your head when you're up there. All you have to do is your part. So group one, you establish the space, you explore 3 objects in the room. It's who are you, what are you doing, and where are you? That's all you got to do. Don't create any conflict. Don't try to move the story forward. That's not your job. The second group's job is to move the story forward. They're going to do the until one day, oh no, that kind of stuff. And then the last group, you guys you don't want to introduce any new problems. You just want to solve problems, resolve it, and tie it up with a bow. Okay. Any questions on that?
But on the first scene, while the people for the second part are waiting to come in, each person in the first scene has to have 3 objects, right?
When we're on stage, yes. Yeah, normally that's the way the game is played. On Zoom, it's not as important. I mean, it's hard to do. So if you can do it in your screen, wonderful. We love you. But if you don't, I just want to see the who, what, and where. Who are you? What are you doing? And where are you? Okay. And show us that physically too. Show it physically if you can. Okay. Good question. All right. So let's have Bill and Nancy and Barbara, Hagen and Raymond, and then Blue and Victoria. And the other folks I did not name, you will be in the next scene. Is that cool?
Cool.
All right. We good? All right. So the first 2 up, I'm going to have Bill and Nancy start us off. Then I'm going to have Raymond and Barbara. Is that who I said? And then Blue and Victoria. So let's do it in that order too. Group 1 is Bill and Nancy. Group 2 is Raymond, Barbara. Group 3 is Blue and Victoria. Okay. Now what I want you to do is I want us to have a suggestion from the audience. Give me a suggestion. You can just say it or you can type it. I don't care. I'll look at both. What do we got? Hot dog. I love it. Let's go with hot dog. Hot dog. Thank you, Abby. Abby, you're always good at typing stuff in quickly. I appreciate that about you. So we're going to do a hot dog. And don't forget, I'm not calling the switch. Raymond and Barbara, since you're group 2, you're going to say freeze. You're going to tell Bill and Nancy to freeze. You're going to come in and assume their roles. Okay. And then Blue and Victoria, after you see Raymond and Barbara do a good job of raising the stakes and making it crazy and, let it go a little bit, make sure they've gotten all the craziness out or whatever they're going to do. Then you guys call freeze and you wrap up the scenes. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they doing?
I'm Go ahead.
Are they doing this independently of each other, or kind of doing a scene together?
They're doing a good question. They're doing a scene together.
Okay.
They're in a scene together, and you will be in a scene together with Blue, acting. Let's say Victoria. Let's say you take on the Nancy's character, or whatever, and Blue takes on Bill's character. You're basically Nancy and Blue, or Nancy and Bill at the end of their scene. Okay. You're gonna be that character. And so the key is if they have an accent, you have an accent. If they behave a certain way, you behave a certain way. You're not new characters. You are those two characters.
I forgot that part. Thanks.
I forgot that. You're not creating new. remember, the only thing that changes is the actor. Nothing else changes. The character is the same. The location is the same. The
The same.
situation is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that changes is you're tag teaming and you're becoming them for a moment. That's it. Okay. So let's do it. Bill and Nancy, take it away. Hot dog.
Hey, that's you, Nancy? That's
Hey,
you?
that's me here. It's the one with the good hot dogs.
The new pop-up stand. Look what I found at the new popcorn stand. The new pop-up stand. Chips.
No,
Look at all the hot dogs.
come on. And we're gonna be real. It's gotta be hot dogs and the relish and the ketchup and the mustard and all that stuff. Come on.
But these go in there. Look what I found.
Get rid of the chips. Concentrate on making these delicious hot dogs.
I know, but look at what else I found. Look at what else I found here to fix up the hot dogs. To fix up the hot dogs.
Oh, I
Pretty
think
cool, huh? We can spread stuff. We can chop them.
wow, now that would work
this is good
great.
stuff.
And if we get a customer that gets a little irate,
Oh, it's a good point.
yeah, you know.
And so to drink with those, we got it as sodas too.
Well, yeah, that's okay. Maybe a little something in the soda might help the sales a little more, but yeah.
Freeze.
I think we got it go.
I think we got it going.
We got all the stuff
Freeze.
we need.
Oh,
I think the soda, it's good stuff. I got good stuff in the soda. I've been drinking it a lot. It's wonderful.
you know
I'll
what?
tell you.
Let me
What?
take the soda and put it in the soda stream because I think it needs to have a little bit more carbonation. Here, okay. Oh my goodness! I kind of think I put a little bit too much.
Happening.
Oh dear.
It's
Oh,
happening.
I don't know. It's kind of. It's kind of.
It's all carboning on me. Stop the carboning on me.
When did you do that knife? It just fell on my leg and it poked out. Oh my gosh.
Oh no. Oh no. This is terrible.
My leg, please.
Freeze! Hey, my legs are bleeding. What are you gonna do, honey? Honey, my legs are bleeding.
First aid kit. Pat, I'm right there behind you. I'm coming up real slow and I'm gonna wrap your leg. Hold your
Well,
leg.
give me some of that soda stuff and put it
I'm
and get
gonna
the blood
pour-
off.
I'm gonna pour it on the leg.
That's
Press the wound.
really nice.
Doesn't that feel good? There you
That'll
go.
feel really
There you
good.
go.
Yeah.
And let's come on, we'll wrap it with my hat. Put your foot in here.
Oh,
Put your foot in.
yeah.
Come on,
That's
there you
really
go.
good.
There you go.
You did a really nice rap job.
Yeah, okay.
I
So,
think the blood is stopped now.
yes, I think so.
Ah,
Now we can sit down and finish off the hot dogs, right?
oh, that's just so nice.
Yes, we finished the hot dogs. And we get them all to ourselves. Everybody left the room.
Good, good, good.
Okay. All right. So here's your soda and here's my soda. And you've got 20 hot dogs. I've got 30. So let's go. Let's start.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We're gonna be here all night.
All right.
All right, darling.
Steak.
I love that. Great job. I love the ending with the eating there, Victoria. That was fantastic. Great work. Oh, I think they did fantastic. What do you guys think? Pretty fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
They make it look so easy.
Did they follow the characters and all that?
My accent sure got changed.
What?
My bad Italian accent turned into a
Yeah.
half Indian, half Irish, half whatever the hell. I don't know
It
what
was
it was.
perfect. Well, it was perfect. It was dead on.
Let's let the other group go, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So let's see. I think we have Paul and Denise. Do you guys want to start? Can you do group one? And then let's see, Abby and Barb. You were the four that didn't get to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Abby and Barb will be the second group, and then volunteers for the third group. Who would like to volunteer? Bill and I need one more. Victoria. Okay. Bill and Victoria, you guys are going to be the third group. All right. So it's Paul and Denise. You guys start. Then it'll be Abby and Barb in the dark over there, like me.
I gotta tell you, Ariel lost power too, and she can't get on. She just texted me.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Hey, we're having a hellacious windstorm here in Everett. At some point, I may have to go find out what's hitting the house. Because something.
Yeah. Well, let's see how far we get. If you gotta go, but we'll wrap this up in a few minutes anyway. So
I'm gonna watch.
Let's do it. So Paul and Denise, you guys are you're starting the scene, and you're gonna use hot dog too. Okay. Your own same suggestion, hot dog. You gotta do something different with it. Go ahead and start.
Boy, this hot dog eating contest, I've been preparing for it a lot. I've been trying different types of hot dogs all over and different things on them. I really love that.
Have you been practicing the dipping in the water and then sucking it down?
I hadn't thought of that. That's a great
because
idea.
I mean, I've been training for this for my whole life, and this is what I really care about. It's why I'm here. It's, I feel good. I emptied my stomach 3 times today and I'm ready to go. I mean, I got the water and, I'm feeling pretty good. So
yeah,
you can do this.
I haven't eaten it all today because I figured I'd be having plenty with the hot dogs. But yeah, well, the water would be good too. That's a great idea. So,
yeah, I imagine the judges are going to come here soon.
Yeah.
So hopefully, this day is going to go the way we planned.
That's right.
Freeze. Hey, partner, I have an idea. In this contest that we're going to go to, I've kind of figured out some things. I think if we drink some baby oil before we start eating the hot dogs, it'll make them go down fast. And then it'll get our stomach upset and we can puke them up, but the judge won't be looking. We can kind of puke them up, under the table. What do you think?
I don't know. I've puked already 3 times today, but I mean, I guess 4 times is okay, right? And I've had baby oil before. It's really not that bad. It's, maybe, what if instead of dipping the hot dog in the water, we'll shove it in the baby oil. I think that's a great idea. I think we should totally do it. In fact, here, I've got an extra glass for you. You want this?
All right, perfect. Yeah.
All right.
So why don't you try it first? The judge is calling you up there.
Oh, really? But I haven't had a chance to get my baby oil. Ready to go?
Oh.
You know what? I'm not going to do the baby oil. I'm going to scratch that. I'm going to go back to the water strategy. I think that's
okay.
Oh, man. Now I need to puke again.
Good luck.
Nothing to do with making room.
Okay, here we go. That's one. Oh, that's 2 hot dogs. You're doing it by osmosis, I can tell. You're awesome. You're going to be a winner. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. That's 40 hot dogs you just put down.
I think they just came back up, though.
Back up? Okay, maybe I can sit in your place. Okay, here I come. Hey, all right, here I go. 1, I don't have baby oil. Shh, don't tell it. Got it. Yes. Okay, okay. 1, okay, my orange juice. 2.
Orange juice is great. Hey, try some Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola
helps move things around,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too fizzy. I can't do it now.
You need the highlight? Okay, I got this. Don't worry. I'm like,
okay, got it.
It was like 5 years ago, but I'm sure it's still good. Okay, good turn around.
Somebody watch the judge. Watch the judge, Victoria. Cover the judge. Oh. Help me, Victoria. It's stuck. Oh. Oh, one more. Oh, one more. I think I need another one. Another one. Ah. Oh.
All right, come on, get going. We got a contest to win here.
It was. Did you see the judge?
I did.
We're number one.
Yeah, well, I'm having my own problems here from all that baby oil. They're sliding out the other end.
But you were brilliant to use those little bitty hot dogs.
I know, but
we got down 374, and them other ones were using them foot-long ones. Aren't you glad you didn't? Let's go get our trophy now, Victoria. We're
you go get it
number
for me. I'm afraid to get up. You go get it for me, dear. I'm afraid to stand up.
All righty.
Really good.
Here we go. We're number one.
And Bill had the prize too. Hey, good recovery. I like that ending. Bill and Victoria did a really good job of finding, because they had gone off the deep end there, and it was pretty real. It was funny, and it's hard when it gets that crazy. So you guys did a good job, and Abby and Barb, good job on the sound effects and stuff, and really physically getting into it. And I like you guys, great commitment, and a fantastic setup by Denise and Paul. It was just a really good setup. It was simple, and it led to a whole scene. So what I like about that one was it was not too complicated. So can we do a review now of what we learned tonight before we wrap up, and before I lose all power to my computer?
I know, kidding. Really.
But before I do, actually, we do have a minute. Does anybody want to make a comment about those? Something that you learned, or an epiphany? Anything that you wanted to share on those last scenes that we did?
Jesse, if I
sir.
remember right, from when we used to do this before, the one thing that you always said was to make sure that we don't introduce anything new after the setup, so that something new should not show up to be used in the second part of the scene or the third part, that only the same objects that were there.
Oh, right. So when we had Bill's making a good point. When we had a focus on objects it's a little harder on Zoom, but when we had a focus on the setup with making physical objects, like, okay, over here's the broom, over here's the car, over here's the window, then the second group would try to use those things in their scene. And remember that they're there. It's much tougher on Zoom because we're not in the same room with the physicality. But that is a good point. You can introduce like new events in the second group if you want to, make it go crazy. But it's based on something that the first group established usually. So if the first group established that we're in a nuclear reactor and here's a button that we shouldn't push, then the second group would push that button and cause mayhem, right? Rather than the second group leaving the room and doing something else somewhere else randomly different, right? So what we're trying to, it's harder here, but the theme of what Bill's talking about still kind of applies a little bit, maybe not as much, but it still does, because we want to try to hold it together as much as we can. So we relate the second scene with the first one as much as we can. That's just a good general tip. Nice. Okay, so I want to review what we talked about tonight because I think it helps with learning. So remember, my tip in the beginning was to be altered by what is said to you. I think you guys did a fairly good job of that tonight. You were listening to the partners and really trying to listen. I noticed it was better tonight. So kudos to you. It's always something to work on. Our warm-ups, we did the 7-sentence, we did categories, and that was just to get your brain thinking along the same terms as your partner and trying to find patterns. 7-sentence story structure, don't forget it. We're going to use it over and over again. For characters, we worked on the ding character with the bell or me saying switch. I want you to remember that because you want to be able to develop the ability to change characters very quickly on the fly. It's such a useful skill in improv, okay? And then the last game that we did is called Freeze and Switch Story. Another name for it is 3-part scene. Okay, so the freeze and switch story, it's one story and you're freeze and switching who gets to play the role in the story. And that's a really good one for, just set story structure and characters. Okay, any other questions or comments before we wrap it up?
Oh, these were fun tonight.
Yeah.
They're short
Awesome.
and sweet, short and simple.
Fantastic.
Well, thank
All
you.
right. Well, you guys have a
Thank you.
wonderful evening.
You too. Take
I
care.
hope you all get your electricity back on quick.
And we
Yeah,
do too.
Oh,
yeah.
ours
Night.
is fine. We got it fine.
Night, all.
Bye.